It is Wednesday, December 18th, 2019, and I am very excited to work again with our Oracle of the Red Thread Connections, and have had a chance to connect in with one of my favorite allies, who is an oracle herself and has tremendous powerful insight into the things that are up for many of us on the collective to be paying attention to and being open to change and shift. So one of the things that we're looking at today in drawing out the card is the Thief, and this is called the Card of Endings. So I've asked her to help me draw this card, and so we can gain some particular insight and information about the true nature of what this card means and how does it relate to the working that we're all and the growing that we're all working on at this time in general, and what kinds of steps and actions can each of us take to pay attention to the things that are shifting around us, and also find our power in the things that are emerging as stuff is also being let go. So with that, let's find out what she has to say here. And again, I'm asking that energy that is not helpful and supportive with this intention to please leave the space, and energy that is helpful and supportive to please step forward. Thank you. Okay, so she is coming in strong today.
Yeah.
And she's asking me to follow her.
And, we work with curriculum with like math or they give us deals, but we just send it to this website.
So we are in this space that is full of a lot of fog, and this is a realm that she tends to occupy and that I often meet her at. This is a realm of many secrets and many hidden things, and I sense that she has something that she would like to reveal here. And so we're sitting down at kind of the stone altar, and I always love seeing her because she has this incredible, like, flowing gray hair and just this extremely powerful presence. And she takes the card that I have pulled from this red oracle deck, and I can see it, and she sets it down, and she goes, "You'll notice that there is this kind of like hourglass on top of the skull." And she's saying, what does this skull mean to you? And I said, well, I often think of death when I see a skull. And she goes, yes, but it is also knowledge. Think of it as this embodiment of knowledge, and that there comes a time when there is a time for that knowledge to be shared and surrendered and released. And she goes, that is the time that we are in right here. So I'm very inquisitive, and my interest has certainly been piqued with these words, because it's not exactly what I was expecting. It's more of an introspective thing. It's more of an kind of a collective. And so I'm inquiring, what is this all about? And she's saying, what each of you need to be prepared for is that there is a radical, as you call it, paradigm shift that is underway. That these constructs of knowledge, in the way that they have been construed and internalized, have run their course. And that this, what you are witnessing is many endings of this. What you cannot see, that is beginning to take shape, and it already has taken shape. It has yet to really become, for you to fully become aware of it and even see it in your perception. Many of you can sense that it's there, but it's not actually something you can see. It's something more or less that you can sense is there and around you. But to be able to really see it in your field, it's not there for you, many of you yet. But what is evident is that there is change that is on the way. So she's saying that this is a time of, great beginnings and great endings. And this, of course, has been shared in, many different stories across many different cultures, across many different times. But that this ending is a different one, because this really is about this collective that is aware that things must die and must go in order for something else to be embraced. And I said, well, how is this different from other times? And she's like, well, oftentimes in previous times with history and with mankind in particular, it took great catastrophes for things to happen. And the thing that is different and unique about this time and this ending and this beginning is that many have that information that again has been passed on ancestrally, that it doesn't have to come in the form of a great big gigantic catastrophe and blowout in order for a shift to happen, and that many are asking for a different kind of shift to happen to be able to step into a new beginning where there can be a place for many to thrive. She goes, that being said, it will look like unlike anything that anyone kind of predicts and expects based on the collective norm. That isn't to say there aren't healers and other intuitives that are tapping in of what is to come, but the main thing here is that new beginnings come in forms that are not expected, and that and to be aware that as much as these things may be shocking or uncomfortable or basically, I guess, like shatter one's reality of what they thought was really real or not real, to be aware of, again, the theme behind it all, which is that new beginnings come in unexpected ways and unexpected I guess like packages where they challenge everything that we've ever known. And she goes, you have all know this, where you've had to confront the things that you thought you knew and things that you thought were absolutely true. You've had to unlearn almost everything you've ever been taught and indoctrinated in order to reap the benefits of these new possibilities and these new gifts and these new experiences. And that came at a sacrifice and an investment into something new. The sacrifice was, these old teachings and these old ideas and these ways of being that were, rooted in these archaic ways of, old indoctrinations, whether they come in the form of kind of these enslaved systems of religion or slavery models, or even just like ways of thinking and limits of being and existing and creating and co-creating. This new type of wave of what is rippling onto the earth is right now, that's coming and is already here, is all about breaking apart the things that are designed to enslave. But it's only, it basically comes down to how far one is willing to do the work to be able to release themselves from the shackles. And she's saying we can only help so much. We can show you the way. We can basically take the door off the bird cage that you're in. But this comes down to really doing the inner work and healing to be able to, even see that you are free. And that is really the challenge that we're going to have in helping humanity step into this new way of living and thriving. And she goes, the reality is many are so comfortable staying in the identity of being the victim, of being persecuted, and also being rescued, that many have no interest in finding their power, in their gifts, and living a life other than what someone else has designed for them. And she goes, this is the shame. But she's like, being the oracle that I am, I only can share with you, again, what is happening and what is coming, and, what are the things that can be done to be able to step onto this path of new possibilities. So this is a very unexpected shamanic journey, and I'm very intrigued by it, and also excited because this becomes the opportunity to ask the questions around, if there are one or two things that each of us can do to be able to take back our power and begin the journey of finding out what it is that we need to do in order to release ourselves from these self-imposed prisons once the doors are off. What does that look and feel like? And she says, I'll be speaking more about this in this coming, new year. But the first thing that you must be aware of is that the doors of your prisons are coming down. You must understand that this is what is happening. And the doors of your prisons and the way that they come down will be unique to each person. And as that happens, there becomes a desire to want to find safety and security. And she goes, the way that you do this is by going back to what feels familiar. And in many ways, what feels familiar is imprisonment, is limitations of beliefs of what's possible, is fighting, is dividing, is what, and is fear-based. So I encourage you, each of you, to start paying attention to these feelings as they come up, because the reality is the doors of your prison are coming down, and when these things come up, which again are unique to your own prison, you need to challenge them. And one way that you can challenge them is by doing meditation work to find out what is your way that you put yourself in prison. What needs to end, and what do you need to start doing that can be bringing about new beginnings and new results? That is where I want each of you to focus in on. And I said, yes, that is extremely powerful there. And she goes, as you may recall, in our previous journeys with this Red Oracle deck, we've talked about these power, these pivot points, and finding that balance. That's another helpful meditation to be going to and working with. The things that I'm giving you all build on one another, and you will start to see how these things fit together. But the first thing is that we're working on is really around awareness. So again, opening up and recognizing that, this representation of the skull and the timeline and these things coming to an end, and the new that again is right in your perception, but has yet to be fully realized and actualized on, has yet to be embodied, let alone internalized. So the first thing is to become aware of how one puts themselves in their own prison. So I'm giving her a lot of gratitude for this very powerful insight and information in this journey today, and I'm asking if there's anything else that I need to bring back. And she goes, the second thing and last thing that I will leave you with is, it's really, your key is the heart. And being open, with an open heart, you can be open to receiving new information and new insight and new love and support to help guide you into stepping into the power, because the heart again knows the way, and the heart is a key to the brain, and it's a key to finding your power. So with an open heart can come an open mind. That is the last piece that I will leave you with. So again, ask yourself, what do you need to do to open your heart, to open up yourselves to new possibilities and new ways of living and being and thriving? And that's going to unlock new ways of thinking and co-creation. So I'm giving great gratitude and thanks for her wisdom and insight today. And with that, I return to my body. Thank you.